I think we're live. Am I doing it right? Can you guys see me? What's going on, guys? JayzTwoCents. I don't have a guest today. We were gonna have a very, well, I wouldn't say very special. Some people may know who he is, some people may not have, so we're gonna just hold off on that until, I don't know, next week, maybe. We'll see. He has a very busy schedule. It's not Boogie, if you guys are thinking Boogie, so we'll see what we can do. So, CISPA, it's dead. Thank God it's dead for now. And a lot of people might have really wondered, what's the big deal about CISPA? I don't understand. The way it's worded is that it's for our safety and stuff, to protect us against international hackers that might try and bring cyber terrorism amongst the United States. So I don't understand the problem. Well, here's the problem with CISPA. Is it was a document that was written up very vaguely, which the government really likes to do. And in fact, I want to put my headphones on here because I want to be able to hear. Sorry. And so what the government does is they try and scare you into thinking, oh my God, if I don't give the government this power to spy on us digitally, our country is going to come to a screeching halt. So what happens is then they come up with this vague wording that says, okay, well, in the name of cybersecurity, we are going to allow major companies like Google and Yahoo and Bing and all of your ISPs and any internet traffic that you go to, including from your phone or your tablets, your devices or whatever, to turn over your information to the US government should you be suspected of being some sort of a cyber terrorist. And the problem in the wording, and the reason why the Senate shot down CISPA, was because the wording was so vague that there was no protection, really. What was supposed to be protection turned out to be nothing more than invasion of privacy. So I agree with wanting to protect us against cyber terrorism because, you know, North Korea has been cyber attacked. Iran, Iraq, all of those countries have been attacked cyberly. I don't even know if that's a word. It might be a word in like the adult industry, but anyway. So I agree that there needs to be something there, but the problem is the internet has no jurisdiction, the internet has no international boundaries, and it just was really ugly. So I, for one, am happy that CISPA for now has been shot down to protect our privacy. It's going to take a lot of time and a lot of effort, a lot of work for the government, any government, whether it be, you know, NATO or whatever, to determine what's considered legal and illegal in privacy and whatnot. So anyway, if you're just joining, we were talking about the fact that CISPA was shot down by the U.S. Senate as a being difficult, or not difficult, but invasion of privacy, that it was too vaguely worded to protect our privacy. So go ahead and hold tight here, guys. I'm going to go ahead and tweet out that I am currently live here on the interwebs, bringing you some of your favorite tech talk stuff from your resident tech geek guy. Yep. I am live. Come hang out now. Talk about whatever you want. It doesn't even have to be tech related today. I'm just in a good mood, so we can talk about whatever you want. Tech related, non-tech related, the draw my life, the draw your life, video cards, which is always seems to be the case. We talk about video cards. And a little bit later in this live stream, I'm going to do something special. I'm going to take a survey, and we're going to determine if I'm addicted to something or not. What could it be? Could it be food? Could it be games? Could it be adult content? What's JayzTwoCents addicted to? Chances are we're addicted to the same thing. Anyway, refreshing the stream here. We have 23 of you in here, which is good, but the problem is that about halfway through the stream, we're going to get like 50 y'all in here, and then people are going to be like, what did I miss? Come on, tell me, yay! And then I end up having to repeat, and I say, guys, go back and watch the replay. But I'm pretty happy because a lot of the replays are getting anywhere between 500 to 1,000 views, depending on, you know, what the content is. And you guys know what the content of these live streams is. It's me getting on here for an hour, trying to seem entertaining by myself, answering your questions without making you guys leave or unsubscribe. That's harder than you may think. That's really hard. And if you guys have been following me on Twitch, you know I'm doing a 100% live Let's Play of BioShock Infinite. Amazing game. Absolutely amazing game. And when that is over, I am going to be doing my next live Let's Play will probably be Tomb Raider. I hear good things about that game. Boogie himself highly recommends it. I will never be live streaming Warcraft. And if I do, if I ever get back into Warcraft and I start live streaming again, I will live stream herb picking for like 10 hours. I've done it. That's why I don't play WoW anymore, because I was that guy that was like, must farm herbs. Must farm herbs. I'm a druid. I can instant flight form. Must farm. Farming herbs. Friends come in. What are you doing? Farming herbs. Want to play? No. Want to go to the bar? No. Bring me something. What are you doing? Farming herbs. Why? Have to make potions. For what? My raid. Have to farm. So that's why I don't play Warcraft anymore. Because my soul belonged to Blizzard for nearly 6 years straight. And if any of you play Warcraft right now, besides those in here that we already know play Warcraft, all of y'all, see you on the other side. That's all I'm going to say. You guys know the routine. If you want to ask me any questions, do it on Twitter, do it on Facebook. Take your chances on YouTube, because they don't always come. Not always. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't. And if we want the comments to make it over here, sometimes you have to spam, and then people don't like that, and they mark you as spam, and I don't see it. So it is what it is. So if you guys have questions, start asking them now. That way I get a little bit of a backlog of questions, and I don't have to go and search for them and stuff, because that's really, really annoying. And I see some new faces here. See, one thing you guys have to know about me is I have a photographic memory, and I have a freaky photographic memory. Like, I remember things that I should probably not remember. Some things, you know, they say can't be unseen. Yeah, I see them in HD. You can't unsee some stuff. Anyway, ask your questions now. I'll get to them. I promise. I will do my best. Been hanging out and talking with Boogie a lot lately, and we're going to be getting him back on the live stream hopefully here in the next few weeks. Might end up on his channel as well, so I know we all love and know our favorite big guy, and we're going to all hang out together. So, one of the forums I go to has some interesting news. They have just a whole technology blog news section. That's kind of where I go for a lot of my topics, and some of this stuff has just been like the Polish Prime Minister gives Barack Obama Witcher 2 as a present. Why is that news? But what I found really interesting is that there was a poll conducted of what the best laptop you could possibly buy for Windows is. If you use Windows as your operating system, what is the best laptop you can buy? And do you guys know what the answer to that poll is? If anyone knows the answer to that poll, put it in the chat. I would love to see if you guys actually know this. And I know this because I do it myself to be able to play or use Windows in the best environment you possibly can. So I'm waiting to see if any of those comments roll in, and then I'll go ahead and answer that. But this is a real poll. And I can tell you right now, second place is like a $500 Acer. And I had an Acer laptop. I loved my laptop. It was pretty awesome. Now I have a Toshiba and an HP ProBook. Why I have like 2 or 3 laptops is beyond me, but that's what I have. Because I'm addicted to technology, and you guys know it. Yes! Teku175 got it. It was the 2012 MacBook Pro. And a lot of people were going, MacBook, that's an operating system for Hackintosh, right? For iOS? Boot Camp, dual boot. For some reason, the hardware, even though it's Intel based, it's the same stuff that goes in your computer and my computer, just seems to operate much better on a Mac platform. I wonder if some of that has to do with the type of RAM that MacBook Pros use, because there is, when you upgrade the RAM in your MacBook, because I have a MacBook, or my wife does actually. I sold mine, and every now and then I use hers, and it's pink. But anyway, the RAM in there is a little bit different. I mean, it's still DDR3, but it's just the way it's registered is a little bit different. The way the motherboard is arranged, it's slightly different. That's why when you go to upgrade RAM in a MacBook Pro, if you go to like Newegg, there is like Mac certified RAM. I'm just thinking it has to do with something with that. So anyway, people are asking me about video cards. What else is new? I'm going to change the title of this to Graphic Talk. with J2. Actually, we might get a lot of views if I named it Graphic Talk with JayzTwoCents. JayzTwoCents reads 50 Shades of Grey. That can't get weird, can it? Anyway, maybe I'll do that one day. Jay reads 50 Shades of Grey. So I've seen some tweets coming in. Let's see what we got here. Jacob Warden says, if I had a choice between the Galaxy S4 and the S3, what would I pick up and why? Or what would you pick and why? You're due for an upgrade. Well, I mean, I have, you guys have seen it. I have my Galaxy right here, and I have my iPhone right here. I carry two because, you know, I got one for my business, and then one for my business. So I haven't used the Galaxy S4 yet. I'm trusting reviews like John for Lakers and Phone Dog and all those guys like you guys are right now because I don't have one, and they just barely became available, and they're back ordered and all that fun stuff. I don't know. I'm trying really hard. I've been spamming my real life friends and on Facebook and whatnot, saying if any of you guys get an S4, you're coming over for like 5 hours, and you're gonna let me borrow it, and I'm gonna play with your phone, and I'm gonna make love to it, and then I'm gonna determine whether or not I'm satisfied at the end of it. That's how I do my reviews, guys. I make love to all the stuff I review, and then I do the review, and I see just how I feel afterwards. If I want more, then it passes the review, and I'm kind of. I want to start, you know, I get companies now that have been contacting me about doing reviews and stuff, which is cool because I'm finding myself in that level now. But I have this idea I've been toying around in my head, and I probably won't do it because I think it would make people afraid to send me things. But if any of you guys watch the channel Ashens, Ashens, he's a British guy. He does like not really spoof reviews. He just does a lot of like knockoff reviews, like the weird stuff. He'll just review like weird stuff, and he's hilarious. I kind of want to start doing some reviews like that, but I'm kind of thinking now because people are starting to realize that when I don't like something, I'll run it over with the Durango. I'm kind of thinking now I want to have a little review series to see, does it get the tire or not? We're gonna do a review of my fan remote control, and we're gonna determine whether or not this stays on the desk or it gets the tire. I kind of want to do that. I think it would be fun. But then again, nobody's gonna want to send me anything because they're gonna be afraid if I don't like their product, I'm gonna run it over. And who wants that? Ugh. Anyway, Jonathan Voss wants to know if I play Minecraft. Absolutely not. I do not play Minecraft. However. I do have a friend last night that offered to buy me Minecraft. However, holy shit, Jim Carrey's in here. Oh, sorry. I had a friend that offered to buy it for me last night. I respectfully declined because I don't want to take I don't want to take money or anything out of anyone's pocket. Especially when I know that this guy's, you know, he's young and he doesn't have a lot of money, he doesn't have a job. So I don't want him to buy me the game because I know for a fact I wouldn't have the time to play it, and he would want me to play it with him. And it's not like it's a viewer I don't know. I mean, I know the guy. I just wouldn't take his money because I would feel bad taking his money in his game and not be able to play it. That just doesn't seem right or fair. So let's go ahead and check out some of the YouTube comments here. What's the most I have ever paid for a laptop? Well, that would be my MacBook Pro, and that was a little over $2,000. I look back now, and I'm not sorry. I really did like my MacBook. I took it everywhere. I put that thing through hell. It's been on so many plane flights. It's been with me in so many hotels. I played Warcraft on it for a couple of years, and it played Warcraft just fine. It wasn't a powerhouse gaming machine. I really, really liked it. So, Jim Carrey says, "Yo, mama been hiding her masturbatory pornage." I'm assuming he's referring to the guy who found 50 Shades of Grey in his basement. Maybe it wasn't his mom's. You can't judge, and you can't assume. That's profiling, Jim Carrey. That is profiling. Bull Moose VSX, he has a different style of satire than you, Jay. Who are we talking about? I already forgot. What have I said in this stream? We're like 17 minutes into it, and I just hear blah, 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 and I have no idea what I've said. So anyway, my eyes look like they've seen things. My eyes cannot unsee the things they have seen. I fall asleep at night sometimes, and I wake up screaming. because my wife just kneed me in the crotch while rolling over. No, seriously, because of the fact that there's just some things in life you wish you could unsee, you wish you could partition and format that part of your brain, but you can't. Gerard W98, and I'm hoping that doesn't mean you're still on Windows 98. So anybody got a fix for coil whine on 7870 gigahertz other than hot glue, nail polish remover, and RMA? Nope. And even those fixes aren't guaranteed because coil whine happens inside the capacitor. You can't do anything about it. It's a copper coil. That's why it's called coil whine. And as electricity goes through it, it gets excited and it vibrates at a different frequency as the load changes, and it starts vibrating and bouncing off the sides of the little metal case that it's in. You get then what's called coil whine, and you can't do anything about it. So what they did was they made solid capacitors that are already filled in there with almost like a hot glue type of rubber that keeps it from moving. So the problem is some of the capacitors are advertised as solid capacitor. And there's been people on YouTube that have done reviews on these things that they say, hey, look, it says solid capacitor design, but it's whining. So on camera, they'll crack open and they'll cut open one of the capacitors. They'll cut it off and break it open. Nothing in there. Just the coil. Nothing blocking it. So that's the problem. Some of these manufacturers are advertising solid coil, Japanese coils, or capacitors, but they're not. So you never really know, I guess. Well, it's been companies though like Sapphire and like Diamond and usually AMD brands that are doing it. You don't get coil whine on Nvidia cards for the most part, so whatever. And if you guys missed last week, I did a pretty epic Minesweeper live stream. Yep. If you guys were in that Mindstream epic sweeper, if you were in that live stream last week where I did Minecraft. I haven't been drinking, I promise, but I kind of wish I was right now. Oh, if you guys were in that Minesweeper live stream, what'd you guys think of that? That was fun. And I remember it took my 4-year-old daughter coming in here and helping me for me to finally beat it on easy, and she was getting the hang of it too. I think you guys saw she was starting to actually get the concept of the game. So anyway. Duradell's dad says, Jay, if you could get technological implants to change your body's performance in any way, what would you get and why? Ooh, that's a good question. So if I could make myself, only part of myself bionic, right? Is that what we're talking about here? Like you say technological implant. I'm going to assume bionic then, right? Like we're talking the $1 million man. But with inflation now, it's like the $17.6 million man. What would I get and why? Ooh. Gosh, I'm going to have to think about that one. See, I know you, and I know where your mind is going, but I don't need an implant or to be bionic. I think maybe... Gosh, I really don't know. I don't know if I can answer that. I don't know. I really don't. God. Australia needs a new memory chip. My memory's just fine. The things I forget, I choose to forget. That's why my wife says I have selective memory. And where was I? Nah, I'm just kidding. Gotcha. Mophead says, Jay, what do you think of Hackintosh? You're contemplating on building one for video editing, photo editing, etc. I've never tried it. I've thought about it. I guess because I fooled around on iOS enough to where it kind of lost its appeal and luster to me, so I just came back to Windows, and the programs I'm using are just fine on Windows platforms, so I never really needed it. Spoka VX, what are my thoughts on Ivy Bridge CPUs? They're a little hotter than Sandy Bridge because they changed the way the heat spreader works. They're about 10% faster than Sandy Bridge. They're a dead end platform. If you go to Ivy Bridge today, you have no upgrade path in the future because they're moving away from that socket again. And ironically, they're going back to the 2011 socket, which was an old socket. Because Intel I didn't get any water. Damn it, this is gonna suck. Anytime Intel's moved forward into a new platform, they've always made a new socket. And with that, they just kept progressing forward and forward and forward. Like 11s, you had LGA 775 and you had 2011 and 1156 and 1155, and they just kept moving forward. And they never went backwards. But the problem is now they went to 1155 and 1156, And now they're going back to 2011. The only reason I can think that they're doing that is Haswell is going to be bringing more consumer-level, affordable 6-core and 8 physical core processors. I think they're going to come out with an 8-core processor, a physical 8-core processor, and their 6-core Extreme series is going to be, it's going to advance far enough to where it's cheaper and affordable. So they needed the larger socket. So that's when they went back to 2011. Because if you've compared 2011 to 1155, it is huge. It's like this is 1155 and this is like 2011. It's massive. It's got 2 latches to hold it down because of that. Flynn Graham Wiggins says Mindstream Pick Sweeper. Mindstream Epic Sweeper was awesome. Yes, it was. Oh goodness. Refresh comments for the love of God. Okay. Gerard says, thanks for the response. Just really quickly. You know what, guys? I have a lot of stuff I want to do video-wise, and I took a little break there and really slowed down on the content I was putting out because I had to kind of... I had to play Family Man a little more because I was really neglecting some things, and I was smart enough to recognize it before it became damaging. So I backed off a little bit. And you know what they say? Leave them wanting more. And that's what all you guys want. You guys want more JayzTwoCents. You're kind of retarded for wanting more. Anyway, I see the word penis. I don't know why I just saw the word penis. I have like a whole wall of text. I see penis. 7950 for gaming. Yeah, the 7950 is for gaming. Yes, absolutely. A Beast $600 PC gaming PC build. It's not going to be Beast for $600, but it's going to be a computer. That's for sure. Sergeant Roosters, Jay, what about the new AMD Richland APUs? I have always recommended AMD APUs over anything Intel. Their APU technology is really good, and you can always crossfire the APU with, their lower end line of graphics cards, which gives you a pretty decent performance. So. Everything's moving so quickly. I can't stop. Let's check Twitter here real quick. I don't see anything on Facebook. Most people don't go to Facebook to post their comments, which is good, I guess. Oh, I got one. Ibong Uke says, "Hey Jay, can you make any recommendations for a cheap build for video editing?" Well, you understand, even a cheap build can edit video. But the question is, how long do you want it to take to render that video? So the amount of money you put in is going to directly affect how long it takes for that video to be rendered. So any computer you build can render a video. It's just how long is it going to take. I've rendered video on my my Athlon dual core at work. It took like an hour to do I think an 8-minute video, but I did it. Flynn's happy being retarded. Well, I'm happy for you. And if I have subscribers that are silly because they want to watch me, then hey, we've been there, we've done that. We're gonna... okay, you said whatever. Best Beast. Okay, best $600 gaming build PC. $600. Get yourself an AMD 4300 CPU if you can. The cheapest AM3 socket motherboard that you can find, or AM3 Plus motherboard. Get yourself 8 gigabytes of RAM. Get yourself the fastest hard drive that you can get in there, a 7200 RPM, 64 megabyte cache, probably something around 500 gigs or less. You won't be able to afford more than that. Cheap case. Make sure it's got fans on it. Graphics card that you can afford, something like maybe a 7770 or even a 7750. It's about the best you're gonna be able to do for $600. And the operating system, you're on your own because there's no money left over. What's my Facebook name? JayzTwoCents. You can go find my Facebook YouTube page there. A8 5600K or the A10 5800K? Well, that's pretty self-explanatory. The A10 and the 5800K is their top-of-the-line APU. It's going to be better. Astria has to run to the store. Get me something to drink while you're there. Give me some purple drink. Yeah, give me some of that stuff. Grifdaw says, you may have missed this earlier, but my thoughts on the Radeon 7990. It's got Crossfire built in. I would, if you could afford it, I would go with something like the Asus, theirs. I don't remember what it's called. God, I'm drawing a blank right now. God, I can see it in my. It's some starts with Aries. The Aries. Go with the Aries. Yes. Do I do liquid cooling? Absolutely. Go to my channel, look at my computer setup video, and you'll see my water cooling there. It's up. It has been upgraded a little bit since then. In fact, I have a camera inside my computer that I sometimes use when I'm doing my live streams, like for gaming and stuff, and it's kind of funny. See, there's the camera right there from inside my computer, and you can see some of my water cooling right there. Yep, because why? People have asked me, why do you have a camera in your computer? It didn't make any sense. And it's like, why not? God, that's epic. Why not have a camera inside my computer? There it is. See, you can see some of the tubes right there, and you can see my water reservoir, and you can see my triple radiator fan and my water-cooled GTX 680 right there. I'll put that over my face. And you can see that I've got an Asus Republic of Gamers motherboard, and that's my pump that goes off to the left a little bit there. And then below this camera, right next to it, actually, is another radiator at the bottom. So yes, do I water cool? Absolutely. I am a big advocate of water cooling. Jessica Gleason says, my Draw My Life was awesome. I wish I could, you know, I'll talk about that. If you guys haven't seen my Draw My Life and it's not your thing, no worries. If you do like it, thank you. Boogie and I talked about it a bit today because, you know, I had watched his Draw My Life a while back and he watched mine today, and it's pretty funny when, and I'm going to apologize here for some foul language because I try and not be that YouTuber that cusses all the time, but it slips out from now and then. But Boogie's exact words to me today when he watched it was, fuck, man, the women in your life suck. And he's all, oh, well, of course, except for your wife. You know, I was like, yeah, you're right. I wish I could say that getting to the point to where I am today has been awesome. But it hasn't been, naturally. You know, like anybody else. I don't tell anyone that my life's been harder than theirs, and I don't want anyone to tell me their life has been harder than mine. Everybody's life is their life. Our problems are completely perspective. You know, my problem is my problem, and it may not be as bad as someone else's, but the bottom line is it's mine, and I don't put anyone else's problems or discount them because I think mine are harder. There's been people out there who've had much harder lives than mine, and, you know, granted, my childhood I felt like was, you know, nearly destroyed because of this this group of kids, and I was talking to my wife about it. 5:15 in the morning, the day after I put that video, because I put the video up at like 10. I think it was like 10 at night, something like that, maybe 10:30. Couldn't really sleep that night because I was worried about the comments and the likes and dislikes and the reviews of it, and, you know, how many people were gonna be like, oh, boo-hoo, you had a hard life, you were bullied, man up, blah blah blah. You know, that's the typical response people give. So I didn't sleep very well, and I woke up early the next morning, like 2 hours before I had to get up for work, and my wife was awake too, and she watched it that morning, and, you know, we laid in bed and she watched it, and I just kind of like laid there, and you know, I mean, she cried. She knew all that stuff. We've talked about it a lot. She knew, yeah, the woman who cheated on me 13 times, something I didn't put in there, and I'll give you guys just a little bit of extra, because, you know, you can only fit so much in the video. It's only 16 minutes, and I hope you guys don't mind me talking about that and getting off the tech subject for a few minutes here. Not only did she cheat on me with 13 different people, some of those people were at the same time. So let's just put it that way. And it just got way deeper than I expected it to, and it was like, that was just extremely, like, devastating. But my wife knew this person, and they were in choir together in school, and they were in classes together, and they weren't like friends, but they had interacted a lot. And so when my wife learned about my ex, she you know, she was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. And she at that point was like, wow, okay, the problems that I've been seeing, like, because, I mean, let's face it, I had problems, I had trust issues and all of that. She's like, okay, it makes perfect sense. So anyway, I just thought I'd give you guys a little bit of a little bit deeper in there because I have a soft spot for you people who show up to my live streams and the people on Twitter and all that, because you guys take the extra step to get to know me. So Ocasio says, let's be positive and let's talk hardware. You love me. Well, I love you more. Let's see. Jim Carrey wants to know, how much did it cost to make a basic gaming PC if you were on a small budget? I would say, if you have to buy an operating system, I would say $600 I think would be the least I would go if I want, because you're on the technology edge right now. Everything right now is on the end of its cycle, and this year new stuff's going to be coming out. So my advice to you would be to wait if you can. What is it now? We're going into May. If you can try and wait 3 more months, you're going to start seeing more hardware coming out by these companies, by AMD, Intel, Nvidia, which is going to make the current more expensive hardware today get cheaper. So you can build a better computer for $600 in 3 months than you can today. So I would recommend that you wait 3 months if you can and put aside about $600. Someone here, K98 Killer, is saying he built a $450 PC last weekend with a 1TB Barracuda, an FX 4100, 8 gigs, a CX 500, and a Sapphire 7770. And the cam in the computer is pretty epic. Well, there you go. For $450, he did that. New or used? I don't know. For those prices, I would kind of think used, but if you got it new, more power to you. He's saying at least 400. With me, I still think 600, but that's just me. So, Temi, I hope I'm saying your name right. First time on one of my live streams, you're really enjoying. Keep it up. Hey, thanks. You know, I've been doing this now for a couple of months, and I'm trying to make it a bit more regular. But the problem is I don't have a regular schedule, so I'm doing the best I can. The Miss JayzTwoCents right now, Mrs. JayzTwoCents, whatever the MRS appropriateness is she's out getting her hair did. She's getting her hair did, and so Grandma, the one who got ran over by the reindeer, is out there watching my kid, and I'm in here talking to y'all. And when I'm done here, I'm gonna go make myself some supper, and I'll watch a little TV with my daughter. When I get done with that, I'll give her a bath, and then after I get done scrubbing them bubbles, I'll put her in her jammies, put her in bed, and I'm gonna come back in here and play me some Biosharks. Yep. While I'm talking like this, I have absolutely no idea. I never lived in the South. You saw my video. I was born up in Newton. That's a suburb of Boston. You know, it's a little bit west and south, a little bit southwest of Boston there. And then one day we all hopped in the car and drove out here to California. And they don't talk like this in California. That's for sure. In fact, if I go talk like this in the neighborhood I live in, I might likely get shot. I mean, they're fixing to hang me from a tree. I don't know. I do have a cousin that lives in Charlotte, North Carolina, right there on the ocean. He's got a little house. He's got a little bench on there and a swing. And he'll sit there and he'll call me and he'll be like, "Hey, Jay, what you doing?" And I'll be like, "Oh, nothing. I'm just playing computer games. I'm just sitting here smoking my pipe, looking at the ocean, hearing them waves crash on the beach. It's so serene. Y'all just to fly out here one day and come visit me, man. I'm gonna play some golf or something. Maybe go shoot some quail. I don't know. There's some pretty good hiking up in here, but we got the ocean." And I'm like, "Yeah, but cuz why would I want to watch the sun rise over the ocean when I can watch it set over my ocean?" And he's like, "Well, damn it, I'm just looking for a reason. You know what?" He's like, "I just really chaps my hide," and he hung up the phone. So anyway, I should do tech talk on Saturday or whatever. Yeah, when you have a kid and a wife, and when I'm helping a friend tomorrow build a fence, and when he asks me if I can help build the fence, and I look at my wife and I say, "Am I available tomorrow?" And then she's like, "Let me look," and then she'll bring a little book. She's like, "Yep, you're free from 11 to 4 or 7 to 9. But other than that, and Sunday, and you got about a 2-hour window between 3 and 5. But I wouldn't cut it that close because we could end up having company come a little bit early. So I would just go ahead and leave Sunday out. So yeah, anyway, that's why I don't do these live streams on weekends, and I would love to, because I did a live stream earlier in the week. I took some time off from work, and I did an earlier in the day stream, and specifically, I did it like 10:30 for my European, Asian, and Australian fans, and that was a fun live stream. You guys got really interactive because you guys were excited. Yay, a live stream that we get to watch, and it's like one in like 3 months. I apologize for that, guys, but I have no control over my schedule. Sorry. The Pro Gamer 1027 wants to know if I speak Spanish. Considering I live in Southern California, you would think I should, but I don't. I don't speak Spanish at all. Sorry. Timmy K, do you think the line between laptop gaming and desktop gaming is getting thinner? Nope. Yeah. Hardware-wise, yeah. Price-wise, it still economically makes no sense to buy a gaming laptop unless, which is ironic that I say that because I have a $3,000 laptop review on my channel, unless you travel a lot or you just have no place to set up shop, then I don't recommend a gaming laptop. The hardware is not as good as what happened here? Where'd my music go? There we go. The hardware, like the 680M, is not equal to a 680 graphics card for your desktop. A 680M is more like a 660 version of a desktop. It's just not the same, and they cost so much more. I just don't believe it. Sanchez Kid 49, have I played Don't Starve? I haven't, but if it's that awesome, maybe I'll check it out. Ocasio said, can I get your personal opinion on the new Asus P9 X79 EWS? You just ordered yours yesterday. It was $500. Is that a laptop? Obviously, if I don't know what the numbers mean, I probably can't give much of an opinion on it. Sorry. But if it's P9 X79, I know what X79 is, and I know what the P9 is. Are you talking about the motherboard? If you're talking about the motherboard, the Asus X79 platforms, and they're outstanding. In fact, I would buy, if I'm going Intel, I would buy one in a heartbeat. The problem is, I just don't like the looks of them. Temi K has an M17X R4, and you know that for what you spent, you haven't gotten much better for the price. You would have gotten much better for the price had you got a pretty decent. Oh, you got a decent deal. Yeah, I had Alienware, and I'm not a big fan of Alienware. Is the M17X that's Alienware, right? Spoka VX says, you're looking for a great graphics card and you know that you're probably going with Nvidia and need to know whether to get the 660 Ti or the 670. What do you think? You're building the PC in the middle of June. Go with the 670. The 670 does outperform the 660 Ti, and depending on which Ti you get, it's only like 50 or 60 bucks more, so I would get that. The Joseph94 wants to know, do I think they will ever water cool a laptop? It's already out. It's already been done. It's just it's not practical because you need radiator space. You need surface area. And to make it work and to keep it all internal, it's just the technology is not there. You take away a lot from the water cooling and you add more to the weight and density of the laptop. It just doesn't make sense. XLP48 says, you think a really good gaming laptop, I think a really good gaming laptop for its price for a gaming laptop is the Lenovo Y500, the SLI. I should look it up. I have looked up some of the Lenovo stuff, and I was looking at the Lenovo stuff over at CES in January. They've got some really good stuff. German Caesar, is it worth purchasing an 1866 megahertz 8GB memory if you already have 8GB of 1333 megahertz? You have an 8350. Here's what you need to understand about that RAM. You're going to pop that 1866 megahertz in your AMD motherboard, and you're going to go to the BIOS and you're going to look at it, and it's going to show that it's running at 1333, and you're going to go, that doesn't make any sense, I don't understand. You have to overclock to get to those speeds. Those speeds are the XMP profile, which in most cases you have to overclock to get to those speeds. So a common question I get asked is, hey, I bought this speed RAM, but it's only showing this speed. I don't understand. And yeah, it's a little more complicated than just putting it in. Australia's back. She says, I'm back. Sorry, they were out of purple drink, so I got red drink. Also got you a sandwich. What kind of sandwich? I don't eat bread. I want to look that gift horse in the mouth. You feel weird yet? Ocasio23J said, I saw your anger video on the GTX Titan. Do you really hate it that much? I will explain this again. The GTX Titan is really the GTX 680. The 680 we were promised last year. We were promised GK110 graphics unit, GPU, in the 680. And March comes around, and they ship out the first review models of the GTX 680. And they open it up. People like Linus Tech Tips and motherboards.org and all those guys, they take it, and the first thing they do is they say, yay, we got a new graphics card. Do you think they throw it in the computer and benchmark it? No, they take it apart, and they examine, what model capacitors are they using? What's the GPU that's used? What's the cooling method? And they tear it apart before they ever plug it into a computer. And what does it say right on the top of the graphics unit inside, on top of the GPU heat spreader? It says GK104. The GK104 was the 660 Ti GPU that was promised back in like November when they gave the roadmap of the GPU die setup and the way it was the roadmap to come out. So what do? They go into the BIOS and they open up the BIOS and they unlock it because the BIOS is locked. And they unlock it and they look at the code for the BIOS, and guess what? The GTX 680, the very one I have sitting in my computer right now, is labeled in the BIOS in multiple different references of the code 660 Ti. So what did Nvidia do? They took their reference models and their review samples, the ones that aren't branded with like MSI or Gigabyte or any of that, it just says Nvidia on it and it's green and black. They sent that out, and what they had done is they rebranded the 660 Ti because it was supposed to come out before the 680, but the 680 came out first for Nvidia's Kepler line. And they rebranded it the 680, shipped it out, and thought nobody would notice. And so all of these reviewers are going, this is really strange. Why does it show 660 Ti in the BIOS? Why is it a GK104? It was supposed to be GK110. Well, then Nvidia just kind of like didn't really answer it, and then the 680 benchmarks were just blowing away AMD at the time because the 7970 wasn't the gigahertz edition and it wasn't a great card. So what happened was Nvidia realized, Nvidia realized that their 660 Ti was spanking the 7970, which was only like 800 and some megahertz. And remember, it could barely overclock to 1,000. So they went, hey, let's save some money and let's go ahead and extend our roadmap and let's take the GK110 chip and let's go ahead and just kind of like stockpile it. Because at the time, they had publicly said there was a shortage of GK110 GPUs because they're also used as, the GK110 was also used in servers as a server processor. So major server manufacturers like Barracuda and Lenovo and all those guys were buying them up by like the huge quantities. So companies like Nvidia couldn't get their hands on that particular GPU they wanted. So they took the few that they had and they stockpiled them, and once the demand went down, they just kept buying them and stockpiling them. Meanwhile, we're over here sitting here all excited. Okay, fine, our 680 is a GK104. And a lot of people went to, well, you know what? GK110, maybe it wasn't necessary because the 104 is so powerful. Well, if you fast forward, and I apologize to you guys if you've already heard this story, but when someone asks, I have to explain that video. AMD put out some teaser photos of what Nvidia thought was the 8000 series graphics card, like the 8790 and the 8890 and all of that stuff. And Nvidia was 3 months late to the party because AMD's 7970 debuted in January and the Nvidia 680 came out March 22nd, so over 3 months later. Nvidia lost a lot of money, a lot of investors, and had a lot of explaining to do to their investors on why they were 3 months late to the 28 nanometer GPU process graphics cards and why they were losing money to AMD. It was the first time AMD pulled ahead of Nvidia in like 5 years. So AMD put out those photos, and this was around November, making Nvidia think that they were coming out with a new graphics card. And even guys like Linus Tech Tips were putting videos out about these photos. And those photos even showed a dual GPU graphics card. Well, Nvidia got a little bit antsy and they thought it was 8000. And remembering what happened last year, they didn't want to be that late to the show again. So what they did was they went ahead and they put out a press release. And I remember the image because I got sent one as well. It was a black background. And it was like a close-up like let's say my hand is a graphics card. It's like close to the camera like that, and you could see the little fan, and it was all like barely visible, like a silhouette, and the text just said it's coming, and everyone's going, wow, okay, yay, the 700 series, the 700 series. So AMD puts out that that little notice that says, hey guys, it's coming. And AMD has, and there's no pun intended, by the way, right there. So Nvidia is known for, once they send out those teasers, inside of a month, they start sending out the keynote invites to all of the tech blogs. And so what does AMD do? Like the same week, they announced to their investors that they are not going to be coming out with the 8000 series until Q3 of this year. So they made Nvidia show their hand early. Nvidia had no choice but to go forward with it. And so they debuted what people thought was going to be the 700 series, and they come out with this fucking Titan. And here is why I'm so mad about the Titan. It's GK110. It's got an 8-pin and a 6-pin power connector. It's got a 384-bit memory bus. It's 6 gigabytes of RAM. The evolutionary jump between the 480, or the 280, to the 480, to the 580, was incrementally the same. Like, it was all on the same platform. 384 memory bus, 1 gig, 1.5 gig, 2 gig, right? And then I think the aftermarket ones for the 580s were 1.5 and 3. And those were all about 35 to 40% faster than the predecessors. Well, the 680 comes out. It's a 256 memory bus. It is a GK104. And it's 2 gigabytes of RAM. And it was about 15 to 20% incrementally better than the 580. The Titan fit the gap between the 580 and the 680 as to what it should have been. So the 680 falls in between. That's why I'm pissed about the 680 and the Titan, guys. It's because the Titan is the 680. It is the card that was intended to be $500 at launch. It was the card that they stuck back on the shelf and made a lot of the guys like us realize that we blew our money on a mid-range card that they rebranded as a high-end card. The reason why it's $1,000 is because they decided to only manufacture 1,000 of them to save their GK110 inventory, because AMD trolled them and made them come out with the card early because they wanted to beat AMD to a party that wasn't even scheduled. So Nvidia just like got trolled by AMD, and in the process made us realize that everything we thought last year about the 660 Ti really being what the 680 is was right. That's why I hate the Titan. That's why the $1,000 price tag is nothing more than just a big like slap in the face to us, high-end hardware enthusiasts. So that's why I'm pissed about it. So now they come out with the 700M, the 700 series roadmap. And the 700 series is the M series right now. It's for graphics cards for the laptops. And that's the way they always do it. They always come out with the M series first. And if history and incremental improvements mean anything with Nvidia, and they've been pretty consistent over the last 5 or 6 years, it's looking like the 700 series is going to fall in between the 680 and the Titan. They are now going to specifically slow down the 780 to be slower than the Titan, because the Titan is their flagship. They only made 1,000 of them, and now they're going to throttle the 700 series so that the 700 series fits in line. It's also why the Titan didn't have a name other than Titan, because they didn't want it to fall in line with a series. That way they could keep the price high as a new series comes out. I should do a video on this. I really should do a video explaining this and doing a diagram for the slow people out there that are guaranteed to come into that video and be like, oh, you should take the Titan because you can't afford it because you're stupid and you have no money. And what they don't realize is, of course I could afford it. I could go buy one tomorrow if I wanted. But the thing is, I'm not going to pay $1,000 for a $500 graphics card. It is what it is. And when the 700 series comes out, the 680 is going to probably drop a couple of $100 down to about 300. I'm going to throw a second one in my computer. Screw the 700 series. I don't even care anymore. Anyway, that's why I was mad in that Titan video. Now you know. You won't like me when I'm mad, because I cry. Okay, I'm way behind on the questions now because that put me into like a bit of a rant. Hui fam. Hui? Actually, H-U-Y I believe is Hui, right? Isn't it Hui? Because my, I have a guy that works for us, his name is Joe Hui. Anyway, not to be a fanboy, but 7970 still whoops the 680 for being 150 to 100 cheaper. I love AMD, but that's not true. At 1080p resolution, it's not true. 1600p and 1440, it pulls ahead by about 5% simply because of the fact that it has higher GRAM available to it. 5% is not whooping. I'm sorry. I build these computers all the time. I play with the hardware, and every time I build a computer, I benchmark the shit out of it. It's not true. The 680 is not being whooped on by the 7970, not at 1080p, which is the most common resolution people run. See, people forget in these benchmarks, it's all resolution based. If you take the 680 and dumb it down to like 720p, and then you take a card like the 660 or the 650 and run it at 720p, they're going to look a lot similar. Graphics-wise, the 680 is not going to pull that far ahead, and people are going to go, well, then why buy a 680? Because the 650 is just as good. Put it at 1080p, put it at 1200, and then watch that gap grow. The same sort of thing is what's happening between the 7970 and the 680. Both cards are great, don't get me wrong. And the OpenGL is becoming a hell of a lot more utilized with programs, which is good. And with the fact that AMD is going to be what's in the new PS4, AMD is only going to become more mainstream. And depending on what AMD comes out with, I might ditch the 680 altogether and get a new series of AMD. Who knows? At this point, I don't even know. Sanchez Kid 49 wants to know if I'm mad, bro. No, I'm not wearing my You Mad Bro shirt today, and I'm not mad. But anyway, why do Australia says, why do people think they need to call me? Leave me alone and let you watch the live stream. Yes, you need to put that on your voice message. Be like, hello, you've called Astra, and I can't come to the phone right now because I'm watching JayzTwoCents' live stream, and then afterwards he's going to be playing Bioshock, and I'm going to be moderating for him, and it's going to be great. Maybe he'll do some Minesweeper. Maybe his cute little girl will come in again, but I can't come to the phone right now. Okay, bye. That's what you should say. Seriously. Richard Torres says you bought a GTX 680, 1201 megahertz top for $435. Excellent deal. And that 1200 megahertz, you could probably easily hit 13. I'm hitting 1306 in my reference model card. So, all right, there's 75 of you in here now, and it's 6 minutes to the end of the stream. Why do you guys wait so long to come in here? Gosh, maybe I'll go an extra 15 like I always do. But I had something a little special I wanted to do here. JayzTwoCents is going to take a survey. And here's what the survey is. Are you guys ready? It is an internet addiction test, and I've never taken one of these. So I've decided that I want to take this internet addiction test live on this live stream, and I've not done it before. And so we're going to take it together, and I'm going to read the questions out loud, and I'm going to tell you the choices, and I'm going to choose the answers that best fit me, and we're going to find out, is JayzTwoCents addicted to the internet? I don't know. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. I guess it depends on the definition of addiction, doesn't it? Anyway, here we go. Hold on a second. All right. How do you know if you're already addicted to the rapidly tumbling toward trouble? Was that English? Okay, anyway. To assess the level of addiction, answer the following questions using the scale. 1 rarely, 2 occasionally, 3 frequently, 4 often, or 5 always. Here we go. Question number 1. How often do you find that you stay online longer than you intended? Rarely, occasionally, frequently, often, always, or does not apply. I would say I nearly always stay online longer than I intended. Question number 2. How often do you neglect household chores to spend more time online? Rarely, occasionally, frequently, often, always, or does not apply. How often do I neglect often? I won't say always, but I would definitely say often. Question number 3. How often do you prefer the excitement of the internet to intimacy with your partner? Oh shit. Is Miss JayzTwoCents watching? Okay, this may have been a bad idea. Let me make sure I'm reading this right. How often do you prefer the excitement of the internet to intimacy with your partner? God, I'm gonna say rarely. That's what you do when you're married. You lie. I mean, no, it's true. That's question 4. How often do you form new relationships with fellow online users? Well, in this case, I'm gonna have to say always because I'm in a relationship with each and every single one of you. I'm very polyamorous. Number 5. How often do others in your life complain to you about the amount of time you spend online? Should ask my daughter that question, huh? How often do others in your life complain to you about the amount of time you spend online? I'm going to say occasionally, because I've been pretty good lately about cutting back, and I know you guys have noticed. Question 7. How often do you check your email before some... Okay, fine, always. I've got my phone and everything with me. I'm constantly checking my email. Like, I'll check all my email, I'll hit refresh. If nothing else came in, I'll hit refresh again just to make sure. God. But I work in IT. Is that fair? Seriously, is that fair? Okay. 8. How often does your job performance or productivity suffer because of the internet? Now, that's just a trick question. I work in IT. I spend all day online. I guess the question is, how often does my online related work suffer because of my non-related work? In that case, I'll just say rarely. I'm really good. I'm very good at what I do at work. That's rarely. Number 9. How often do you become defensive or secretive when anyone asks what you do online? I'm going to say rarely. I put it all out there, obviously. Number 10. How often do you block out disturbing thoughts about your life with soothing thoughts of the internet? What the hell does that mean? How often do you block out disturbing thoughts about your life with soothing thoughts of the internet? Okay, I've never once thought of the internet as being soothing, first of all. The internet's not soothing. The internet's full of bullies, it's full of pornography, it's full of advertisements, it's full of like horrible news, it's full of Kim Jong-un. I'm gonna say, how often do you block out disturbing thoughts about your life with soothing thoughts of the internet? Well, I guess if you play Warcraft, you'd have to put always, because you're living that life. I'm gonna put occasionally. 11. How often do you find yourself anticipating when you will go online again? Always. Let's just be honest. I plan my day. I have even told my wife, we have to be back by 6:30 because I'm going to play at 7 with Nick and with Scotty, and we're going to play Battlefield, and it's going to be great, and you can't make me. I have really had that conversation. Number 12. How often do you fear that life without the internet will be boring, empty, and joyless? Well, it depends. Is always online DRM going to become a real thing? Occasionally. Occasionally. And I see, I'm kind of glancing over at your questions here, guys. I'm not really watching them at the moment. The live stream is technically over at this point, so we'll talk about anything you guys want when I'm done with this test, whether it be my bullying story, whatever. I don't really care. I'm in a good mood today. Can't bring me down. I don't know who sung a song about can't bring me down, but you can't. Screw you. 13. How often do you snap, yell, or act annoyed if someone bothers you while you're online? Frequently. 14. How often do you lose sleep due to always. This isn't fair. It's going to make me feel stupid at the end. 15. How often do you feel preoccupied with the internet when offline or fantasize about being online? It's like you're at school. I really wish I was online right now. You know what would be cool? It's if I was online right now. When I'm online, I'm going to think about what I want to think about when I'm offline. Okay, that's how I see that question. I'm going to say rarely, because when I'm offline, I kind of enjoy it. 16. How often do you find yourself saying, just a few more minutes when online? Often. It's true. 17. How often do you try to cut down the amount of time that you spend online and fail? How often do you try to cut down on the amount of time you spend online and fail? Occasionally. That's true. I'll tell my daughter bedtime's at 8 and she's in bed at like 9:15. 18. How often do you try to hide how long you've been online? Never, because I have my own internet room. See? See, if the door's shut, it's private time. And you all don't be stupid and dirty. 19. How often do you choose to spend more time online than going out with others? This isn't fair. This is not fair. Stupid. Frequently. If I'm being honest here. 20. How often do you feel depressed, moody, or nervous when you're offline? Which goes away once you are back online. I'm gonna say rarely. I don't like fix over the internet or anything. Let's calculate my score, shall we? My score is a 53. Okay, after you've answered all the questions, add the numbers you selected for each response to obtain a final score. The higher your score, the greater your level of addiction and the problems your internet usage causes. Here's a general scale to help you measure your score. 20 to 49. You are an average online user. You may surf the web a bit too long at times, but you have control over your usage. 50 to 79, which happens to be the bracket I'm in. You are experiencing occasional or frequent problems because of the internet. You should consider their full impact on your life. I have. I've met all of you guys because of it, and my life is amazing, so screw you, stupid netaddiction.com. 80 to 100. Your internet usage is causing significant problems in your life. You should evaluate the impact of the internet on your life and address these problems with Dr. Phil directly, and it's caused by your internet. No, this didn't say about Dr. Phil. They actually say Oprah. After you have identified the category that fits your total score, look back at those questions for which you scored a 4 or a 5. Did you realize that this was a significant problem for you? For example, if you answered 4 often to question number 2 regarding your neglect of household chores, were you aware of just how often, or how dirty the laundry was piling up, or how empty the refrigerator gets? Say you answered 5 always to question number 14 about loss of sleep due to late night logins. That's me. Have you ever stopped to think about how hard it was to drag yourself out of bed in the morning? Do you feel exhausted at work? Has this pattern begun to take its toll on your body and overall health? Yeah, screw you. Anyway, that was JayzTwoCents net addiction test, and you know what, guys? That's true. You know what, though? Sometimes I log out very, very late. Like, it'll be like 11 o'clock, and I'm going, okay, I'm gonna get to bed early. I'm gonna get to bed by midnight tonight. I'm gonna get to bed early, all right. And then I crawl in bed and look at the clock, and I'm like, because my eyes are so burning from being online. I'm like, and then the clock will say 2:45, and I'm like, ooh. Anyway. Ocasio23 says, what do you think about Linus's intelligence in his channel? What kind of question is that? And what I mean by that is somebody's going to go tell Linus if I say something bad about him. I know I like Linus. I got to see him when I was at CES. He's a cool guy. I think he has a bit of an advantage over anybody else in the tech world because he has like 1,800 videos, but that's because he works for NCIX and he has access to a whole warehouse of parts and he can just put up a video whenever he wants. In fact, he does like 2 or 3 a day sometimes. I think he's very smart. He knows his stuff. I personally don't find him very entertaining, though. I kind of find him kind of bland. That's my honest opinion. So, Raquel says, if you weren't on the internet, you wouldn't have been able to take that quiz. Hey, good point. Yes. All right. Gosh, I don't know what you guys are saying. All right, guys. Open forum question time. Ask me anything you want. And even if it's a troll question, you might get a troll answer, and then you'll feel stupid and you will have wished you never asked me a retarded question. Or maybe that's what you wanted, and you thought in the end you made me feel retarded. But I have quite the experience of dealing with trolls. And I guarantee you, you can't troll a troll, no matter how hard you try. It's true. Alright. Sanchez Kid 49 wants to know, who is the YouTuber you watch most? I have quite a few YouTubers that I watch very regularly. I really like obviously Boogie2988. I never miss anything from Boogie. That's the truth. And you know, I met him and became friends with him because of his channel and whatnot. So but I never miss a video from Boogie, and in many cases I have the honor of seeing the videos before anyone else does and helping him edit them and come up with ideas. You guys may be surprised to find out there are some videos up there that have been very successful that I've given him input and helped with. So, I feel like I'm like a little bit of a part of some of the goodness that comes out of his channel. Not a lot, just a little bit, but that little bit is a whole lot to a guy like me. All right. I also watch Niga Higa. I love that guy. I really like watching. You know, I used to watch JayzTwoCents an awful lot because I've always thought that he was such a good dad that I wanted to really model myself after him. I haven't watched them nearly as much as I used to because I honestly feel like the JayzTwoCents have become entirely too corporate and too commercial. I understand, you know, when they moved to California and they started Maker Studios and became friends with Cass and G and all that crap, that, you know, they started taking big, like, deals and doing commercials and, you know, and then they went on Anderson Cooper and they just became too, I don't know, advertised, I guess. It lost its realism to me. So anyway, do I watch Singularity Computers? Yes, I do watch Singularity Computers, and I watch a lot of his water cooling stuff. I really like Singularity. He makes some really awesome stuff. In fact, that radiator box that he gave away recently, I wanted to build one of those for myself. I was like, holy crap, that is awesome. So I wanted to build me one of those radiator boxes. That was pretty awesome. Bull Moose wants to know, do you fap when your wife is holding out on you? See, that would have to imply that my wife holds out on me, but my wife and I have a very healthy relationship. So, I'm going to say, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I don't have to do any of that. So there you go. Adam Boker wants a shout out. There you go. Adam Boker. Hope I said your name right. Boker? Yeah. If you know, I really get your guys' names really, really badly messed up sometimes, and I apologize for that. But I still love you guys a lot. Eda Cheetah says, "Is you and Boogie? I'm assuming you mean if you and Boogie were superheroes, who would be the sidekick?" Oh God, I would totally be his sidekick. That guy, guys, Boogie is so much smarter and like wiser than I am. You guys don't know just how much I like lean on him when I'm having a bad day, and you know, vice versa. There's times where he'll lean on me, and he knows I can handle it. Yeah, he's quickly and closely becoming a very close friend of mine. So anyway, the Joseph94 says, shout out. Yes. Dog ZX Elite wants to know, how many D&B do you have? More than enough to get the job done. I have a kid and working on number 2. So if you need to borrow it, get in line. What else we got? I'm going to scroll down a little bit here. Do I troll? I troll on Xbox all the time. I love trolling Xbox. And I do have, right up there, I have an Elgato Game Capture HD that I'm going to eventually hook up and capture some trolling vids. Let's see. Raquel says, you were putting your SOA marathon on hold to hang out with me in my live stream. That is awesome. You can tell Jax Teller that you'll be back later. An APU PC for $350? Seems like a lot. Let's go back up here. Jack Arsenal says, did you see the PC Peer article about AMD and the AMD and the frame timing? It looks like they are fixing it in time for the 7970 launch. Also, the 7970 ships with 8 games. I think they're a little late to the 7970 show, though. I really do. It's kind of like their version of the Titan, only they didn't have a story that made it feel like you wasted your money. So, Adam Boker says, thanks. It's hard to pronounce if you never said it before. It's Bo, like you. Bowker. Okay. It's bow, like you bow down to someone. So that's the problem. BOW has 2 pronunciations. Guys, I'm only going for a few more minutes because I feel like I'm going to be losing my voice. As much as I want to hang out with the 73 of you that are in here right now, you guys can all come hang out in the game. I'm going to be finishing my live stream, and if you guys want to talk about like some trolling there, I'll say whatever I want over there. I don't have to deal with community guidelines over there like I do here. Shoot. DRock4299 says oral or anal. Anal. I don't know. Which one have you had more of? I don't know. Maybe you like oral. Maybe you like anal. Whichever. Whatever floats your boat. I'm not gonna judge you. You might want to lay off the anal a little bit though. You'll start pooping your pants. Mulboo says, lease me your computer for $1 without shipping blocks. No. /facepalm. Yes, it's on Twitch. The link, it should have been down here. I guess it's not. I'm going to add the link to the Twitch channel so that you guys can go on over there, hit follow, and you'll get emailed when I'm going online, which is going to be in about an hour and 15 minutes. I thought I put it in here. I guess I didn't. Twitch, not Twix, Twitch channel. TV. Save. All right, guys. If you were to refresh the stream, you will see a new description down there, and right on there it says Twitch channel. That is my Twitch channel. Go over there, hit the follow button. Make sure you're following, and you guys will get to come over there and hang out with me. A legend in his own mind wants to know, what is the homepage for my browser? That would be hardforms.com. Hardform.com. That is like my go-to hardware computer forum. I've been there for like 6 years, and I'm well respected over there, and I really like it. Sanchez Kid 49. Do you have to pay? Do you owe somebody money? If you're asking, Oak Rez. Yes, it's going to be on Twitch. It is on Twitch. That is where I'm going to be live streaming hopefully the conclusion of BioShock. A friend of mine who's been watching has said that I'm about 3/4 of the way done with the game. So between like maybe 2/3 and 3/4. So that's exciting. I want to see the end because everyone keeps talking about the end. No, it has no cost to sub. Everyone keeps talking about the end of BioShock, and I want to see it. In fact, Boogie the other day was like, "Oh my God, the ending of BioShock! This is still reeling from it. Oh, it's crazy. I want to talk to you about it so badly, but I'm not going to ruin it for you." So now I want to finish the game because I want to know what's so awesome. But unfortunately, sometimes when people put that kind of bug in your ear about an ending, it really makes you think that. It makes you hope that you're not disappointed by it, because maybe it won't be that same for me. Lacrosse 1124. Hey, can I borrow your child? How much for 2 hours? It really depends on what you want to do. If you want manual labor, it's going to cost you about $75 an hour. K98 Killer. Put the Twitch link on Twitter. That way we don't have to reload this page /#. All right, I'll put it on Twitter right now. I already had been, but hey. Oh, in fact, there's R. Amrit Rande says, "Hey Jay, have you gone offline until 8:30? I missed the 6 o'clock live stream. You're still yes. Yes, I'm still live streaming now. Online for 2 more minutes, then live streaming at 8:30 p.m. BST. Bio Sharks." Okay. I'm going to add the link to Twitch in Twitter right now if you guys are following on Twitter. And a lot of people ask me, why is it Jay's VFX over there instead of JayzTwoCents? Well, because I was doing the Twitch thing before I started YouTube. So, in fact, who wants to hear... Some of you guys may have heard the story already about how I started YouTube, but I've never really gone into depth about it. Should I do a video on that? Maybe I'll do that. I was about to ask you guys who wants to know, and I would tell you guys the in-depth story right now, but I think maybe it's something I'll hold off for the next couple of days until I hit the 10,000 mark, which should be... It's looking like it's going to be in 3 days, so we'll see. Chris, I thought you said that Tech Talk was going to be on Twitch, not YouTube, and I missed it. Oh, well. You still have BioShock to watch. Yeah. I know it's a little bit confusing, guys. Tech Talk is always on my channel on YouTube. It's always here. Games and stuff are almost always going to be over on Twitch, just because I want to support that gaming community over there. Bull Moose says, "Play Oregon Trail, you noobs." Oh, I loved Oregon Trail back in school. Jeez. Gerard and W98 wants me to say it now, Jay. Say what? I don't see anything. There, I did it. Yeah. Got it? Gamers818 wants to know, when am I going to stream? I'm going to be streaming the conclusion, hopefully, of BioShock Infinite. I've already streamed like 9 or 10 hours of it. Hopefully it's going to be the end. Okay, this is the last refresh of comments, and I'm getting the F out of here for the next hour. Jay, okay, this is like my lightning round. Okay, Jay, what are your thoughts on 6850 GTX 650 Ti Boost? It's a good card, but you can't SLI it. Itachita, what are you going to play after BioShock? I'm going to be playing Tomb Raider. And I don't mean like as in tonight, I mean after the game is over. Rufus David, Sapphire 7950, is any good as an upgraded graphics card? Upgrade to what? From what? The 7950 is a great card. I think you should get it if you can afford it. Daz G Elite says you have a Pentium G860 and a 650 Ti, and you get 30 frames per second on BF3, and you wish you could get more in Ultra, but you want to record DX Tori, CPU horror, and you have $150 to $200. What should you upgrade first? Your CPU and your motherboard, definitely. Unfortunately, for 150 to 200, you're not going to have a lot of money. Or be able to get anything really, really high. Skepticom818, I don't want to watch Bioshock, still wanting to play it yourself. Yes, then don't watch it if you haven't seen it or you want to play it, because it will be a spoiler alert, but there's people in there watching it who have not played it and they're still enjoying it. So anyway, Gerard98, the YouTube thing, how you started. Okay, I decided I'm going to go ahead and do that in a video. I'm not going to do it right now, so sorry guys. Jacob Korsnick, you can SLI the boost. I had heard that you can't. I don't know. I haven't looked into the boost because unfortunately I'm a hardware whore and I always look at the higher end model cards anyway. So something I could do like a 4-way, like a 680. Sorry. Astria says, wow. No, I'm not going to go to play WoW. And if you're saying WoW because you think I'm awesome, then thank you. But if not, then screw you. Okay. Ida Cheetah, Radeon 7500 HD thoughts. 7500 is not a gaming card. It can play videos. Austria says Cheat does on his way home. Yay! Yay! Okay. Gerard W98. Damn keyboard. I like mechanical keyboards. Anything with the Cherry MX Blue is going to be loud like this, and it's going to sound a lot like this. And it's really loud. If you get something with a Cherry MX Brown or a Cherry Red switches in there, it'll be a lot quieter and you get some kind of tactile feel. GamerZ818 says 650 Ti boost can't SLA. Okay, good. I had heard that it can't. I don't know anything about it. I don't really look down anything below like the 670 range personally when I become as an enthusiast. So sorry. Anyway, Dirdall's dad, Did you care who I was before I put on the mask? No, I didn't. I still don't. Dog ZX Elite, you can 2-way SLI the boost. Yeah, you can't 3-way or 4-way anything below a 670. Anyway, Jacob Korsek, you are my favorite YouTuber ever. You are my favorite viewer ever. And to anyone else who's an awesome viewer, I love you guys too, so don't get really offended. Anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. I appreciate you guys all coming and watching. If you want to keep chatting with me, come over to the Bioshock live stream over there on Twitch. It's down in the description. It's on Twitter. It's on Facebook. Once again, if you guys didn't come and watch, I'd be just by myself in here talking, and I'd be a crazy guy talking to a computer monitor with absolutely nobody watching me, and it would be sad, and I would realize, and I had to do a whole new draw my life about the fact that I have no life, and it would just be a whiteboard, nothing driven, nothing drawn. I'd just be sitting there staring at it, and then you would slowly see like tears like falling and dripping on it. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here, guys. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you for everything that you guys do for me, and I'm going to keep doing it for you. We're almost 10,000 subscribers strong because you guys are freaking awesome. I'll see you guys in the next live stream. Hope to see you in Bioshock. Peace.